Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor and I share these What's for Dinner videos every week. This week, the meals are pretty easy and all meals that I have made before that I know that my family loves because we've been back into homeschooling and in the beginning we just need to get into our routine, and I just need easy dinners that I know my family is gonna love. So I just stuck with meals that I have already made before this week, but I hope that you guys still get some motivation from this to cook more for your family and maybe even some meal ideas. Let's go ahead and get into this week's What's for Dinner. Friday night we did nachos, which is always super easy and it's definitely a family favorite. I started off by cooking up a pound of ground beef with some taco seasoning. I heated up a can of refried beans and I heated up some of this Rico's nacho cheese. This is what it looks like after I thaw it out and warm it up on the stove. I do freeze this in a Ziploc bag and it thaws out perfectly. Then we had all the toppings, some pico, some green onion, lettuce, jalapenos, some extra cheese, and all of the sauces and sour cream. The kids' bowls are usually pretty simple. Elijah likes meat, cheese, beans, lettuce. Lily likes meat, cheese, beans, and salsa. And then I have some of everything on mine, and Andy's looks the same. Saturday night, I started off by seasoning some thinly sliced chicken breasts with salt and pepper on both sides. I heated some oil in my cast iron pan over a medium heat, and I boiled some salted water. To my boiling water, I added 2 cups of dried orzo and half a teaspoon of dried rosemary, and I just cooked that until the orzo was tender. Once my pan was hot, I added my chicken and let it cook on that one side for 3 to 4 minutes until it was browned. Then I flipped the chicken over and let it continue to cook for about a minute. And then I added in some rosemary, garlic, and chili flakes and let it continue to cook for another 2 to 3 minutes until the chicken was browned on that other side. Then I stirred in some grape tomatoes, lemon juice, and water, and I let that simmer for 5 to 10 minutes until that liquid had slightly reduced and my chicken was cooked through. All the measurements for this recipe will be listed down below, as well as the link to it on HelloFresh. I have slightly adapted the recipe from the HelloFresh recipe, but this was a HelloFresh recipe that I tried, probably 2018, I think, and we loved it so much we've continued to make it many times over the years. Back to the orzo. Once it was done, I drained it and returned it to the pot. I thought I was recording when I was doing this, but then realized I wasn't. But I added in some Parmesan cheese, some lemon zest, and I seasoned it with salt and pepper. Once my chicken was cooked through and my sauce had slightly reduced, I turned off the heat and I stirred in 1 tablespoon of butter. And I just served the chicken on top of that orzo and some extra lemon wedges on the side. It is super delicious. This is probably our favorite meal that we ever had from HelloFresh. Sunday night was another recipe from HelloFresh. Not from HelloFresh, but adapted from a recipe that we had tried from HelloFresh. This seems like a HelloFresh advertisement. It is not. I don't think that their stuff is worth it, but I do like looking on there for recipes. I did try them once a couple years ago. But I started off by making some of my perfect instant pot white rice. You can always find that video by searching Taylor Elmore rice, and it's the first video that pops up. I just do equal parts rice and water, a splash of vinegar, and a splash of oil, and cook it on manual for 5 minutes. To go with the rice, I am making Tex-Mex Tilapia. So in a bowl, I am mixing together some panko breadcrumbs, some garlic, some cumin, and some chili powder. As with the last recipe, my adapted version of this HelloFresh recipe will be listed out down below for all of the measurements. For my tilapia, I patted it dry really well with some paper towels, and then I seasoned one side with salt and pepper, and then added on about a tablespoon of sour cream, and then I flipped it over and did the same thing on the other side. To fry my fish in, I heated up about 2 tablespoons of oil over medium heat. Then I took each piece of fish and dipped it in that panko mixture, making sure to press it in. And then I fried it in that oil for about 4 to 5 minutes per side. While the fish was cooking, I mixed together a little lime crema. I mixed together 2 tablespoons of sour cream, a squeeze of lime juice, 1 clove of minced garlic, and some chili powder. Once my rice was done cooking after the 5 minutes, I let it do a natural release for 15 minutes and release all of that steam. And then all I have to do is open it and fluff it. And if you're just doing white rice, you would leave it there. But for cilantro lime rice, I go in with 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, some salt and pepper, and some cilantro. I had accidentally forgotten to buy fresh cilantro, so I had to use dried cilantro. I used 1.5 tablespoons of dried cilantro, and when I do fresh, I do 3 tablespoons. All of this will be listed out down below for you. So for my plate, I like to do the fish on top of the cilantro lime rice with that lime crema, and then some avocado and some pico on top. And for the kids, they just like the fish on the side of the rice and then some chopped up avocado on the side. Okay, it is Monday night, and tonight for dinner we are doing Mississippi chicken thighs. I know pretty much everybody has heard of Mississippi pot roast, but I like to share it because we only have it once every couple of months. And we also like to put carrots and potatoes in it, and we also like to do it with chicken sometimes. I actually had put on the meal plan to have it with the chuck roast, but Lily, who is the one who requested it be on the meal plan, decided that she wanted it with chicken instead. So we were doing Mississippi chicken, and whenever I make it, since I do add carrots and potatoes, I like to take half of the ranch seasoning packet and half of the au jus packet and sprinkle that over the chicken. So I'm going to do that first. And then I will add on my potatoes and carrots. I just cut up like 4 big potatoes into big pieces and about 5 or 6 carrots into some big pieces. So that's what I have here in this bowl. I just pour those over top, kind of spread them out. We really like the vegetables in it. My family could do without the potatoes, but I love the potatoes. They are obsessed with the carrots. They're like their favorite thing. If I could just make Mississippi carrots, I think that they would be happy. But So I've got that in there, and then I've got the other half of the ranch and the other half of the au jus. Sprinkle that over, and then I take a stick of butter that I chopped up. Today I just have unsalted butter because that's all that I have. I need to go to Sam's Club and get some more salted. Usually I do use salted, but we're just going with unsalted today. I cut it up and just spread that out all over the top. And then the last thing to add to this is some pepperoncinis. I do a little bit of the juice. I've got these ones from Aldi. I'll do a little bit of the juice, and then I don't have very many peppers left in there, so I think I'll do what's left in there. Usually about like 6 to 8 peppers is what I will put on top. And people always ask me if it's spicy. I don't think it's spicy, but I like really hot stuff. So if you're really sensitive to heat, you might want to leave it out. But like my kids don't think it's spicy, but they're not super sensitive to heat. They'll eat salsa and stuff. So yeah, I don't think it's spicy, but everybody has different opinions on spice. So that's all in there. I'm just gonna put the lid on it, and I'm gonna put this on high because it's already afternoon here, and just let it cook till probably about 6 o'clock. Okay, it is right at 6 o'clock and this is done. I am going to take the potatoes and the carrots out and like put them in a bowl on the side, and then I will shred up the chicken that is in the bottom. And then to go with this, I just like to eat the potatoes and carrots and chicken, but my family likes to have it over rice. So I currently have some rice going in the Instant Pot the same way that I did it yesterday. And then my video for perfect white rice in the Instant Pot is always on my channel. You can just search Taylor Elmore rice, and it's like the first video that pops up. But it'll be linked down below too if you want to see that. But I did show how I make that last night. Only difference is I'm not going to stir in like the cilantro and the lime and lemon. We'll just eat it plain with some of this on top. Okay, and here are our plates. As I said, I don't like to eat it with rice. I just like it with potatoes. And then they have a little bit of potatoes and carrots. This one's Andy's. And then these are the kids. And we have plenty of leftovers for lunch tomorrow. Tuesday night for dinner we had beef and broccoli ramen. We like our broccoli super tender, so I like to air fry it first. So here I am just cutting it up, and then I'm going to put it on my air fryer pan with a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, and just roast that on 400 for about 10 minutes. Next, I made my sauce. The measurements for this will be listed out in the description box. For this, I mixed together some beef broth, some ground ginger, some sesame oil, some cornstarch, oyster sauce, soy sauce, sriracha, and hoisin sauce. In a skillet over medium heat, I heated up some sesame oil and olive oil, and then once that was hot, I added in a couple cloves of minced garlic and just let that cook for a minute. Then I added in a pound of ground beef to brown, and I left this in pretty big chunks. I don't want to make it like super tiny. I wanted it like bigger chunks for this beef and broccoli ramen. Then when the beef was done, I added in that sauce that we made as well as my air fried broccoli, and I just let that simmer over like a medium low heat to let the sauce thicken. While that was simmering, I brought some water to a boil to cook my ramen noodles. I'm just taking the noodles out of these ramen packages and I'm just throwing away the seasoning packages. So I cooked up 3 packages of ramen noodles. When I made this previously, I had mixed the noodles in with the meat and broccoli, so it was all combined. But this time I decided to just serve the meat and broccoli on top of the noodles, which we really liked it served this way. Wednesday night was spaghetti night. We just had some spaghetti and salad, and to switch it up a little bit this time, instead of ground beef, I used some Italian sausage, and that was our dinner for Wednesday. It is Thursday night, and tonight for dinner I am making a jalapeno popper chicken casserole. I have made this before, but it's been a long time. I think that I actually originally got this recipe from Amanda over at Mom's Messy Kitchen. That's like a while ago, because she hasn't even posted what's for dinners in a while, and I feel like this recipe is from like 2019. I don't think I've made it since then, but I remember it being very good when we made it. So good that I stuck it in a page protector and stuck it in my recipe binder to make again. And I haven't been using this recipe binder for a while, but I just went through and like reorganized it and have been wanting to make some recipes that we've had in the past. So I picked this one, and when I made this for the cooked chicken, she had done some chicken breast in the crock pot with a ranch packet and jalapeno juice and a few jalapenos. I actually forgot to pull my chicken out last night, so this morning I pulled it out. It's still partially frozen, and I'm gonna throw it in the Instant Pot and cook that up. I looked it up online. It says like 12 minutes for frozen chicken, and do a natural release. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't have any more ranch packets, surprisingly, but I do have just like basically the ranch dressing mix, but it was in like a seasoning bottle. So I'm gonna add enough of this to equal a package, which I think is like 3 tablespoons. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm going to add in some jarred diced jalapenos and a little bit of the juice. And as I said, 12 minutes, manual, high pressure, and then a natural release. I forgot, you also are gonna need to add like some liquid. I'm just gonna add some water. You could do chicken broth. You could do a ton of jalapeno juice if you want to. I'm gonna add, it's probably about 3/4 of a cup of water. And then, as I said, I'm gonna do some of this juice and some of the peppers, but I don't want it to be too spicy because I am going to add in fresh jalapenos to the actual pasta too. And then, as I said, the dry ranch powder that doesn't want to come out, put that in there, and then cook it up. Okay, my chicken is done. As I said, I let it do a natural release, just let it release all of that steam. And now I'm going to take out my chicken and shred it up. And if it's more than 2 cups of chicken, I'm just gonna put the other to the side and freeze it, maybe for quesadillas or something in the future, because I only need 2 cups of chicken for this recipe. I've gone ahead and started boiling some water for my pasta. I'm going to cook up 2 cups of pasta. In the past I did penne. Today I'm doing elbow because that's what I have. In here I am melting up 1 tablespoon of butter, and once that's melted I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour and just cook that for about a minute. Okay, I have added 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of chicken broth. I just measured them out in the same measuring cup to make it easy, dirty less dishes. And then once this is nice and whisked together and it looks like there's no clumps of that flour in here, I'm gonna whisk in 4 ounces of cream cheese that I've cubed up and just continue stirring and whisking until that cream cheese is melted. cream cheese is pretty much fully melted. I don't know if you can tell, there are like little tiny pieces of cream cheese. Usually that's just how it's going to be. If you use generic cream cheese, you can still kind of see little bitty pieces. It's not going to melt completely smooth unless you sit here forever. Especially when you don't start with room temperature cream cheese. This is still cold. I probably could have melted it in the microwave a little bit to get it a better consistency, but this will be fine. It'll probably also continue to melt when we bake it. I've gone ahead and turned off the heat. Now I'm going to stir in half a cup of Monterey Jack cheese and half a cup of cheddar cheese until they are melted. Okay, our cheese is all melted, so now I'm going to go in with my chicken. When I shredded it up, it was like exactly 2 cups of shredded chicken, so that was perfect. But as I said, if I had any extra, I would just freeze it and use it for another meal. I think this would be great in some quesadillas. So we got our chicken in there. I'm gonna add in some garlic powder and onion powder. The original recipe, which I will have linked down below, had you cooking some actual diced onion, but I didn't feel like doing that. And then I'm also going to add in some real crumbled bacon. Again, the original recipe also had you cooking some bacon, and then we're going to do more bacon on top as well. So we got our bacon in there, and now we're going to add in our jalapeno. You could do jarred like I did with the chicken, but I am using 1 fresh diced jalapeno. I removed the seeds so it's not too spicy for the kids. And then my noodles are done, so I'm going to put them in a casserole dish and then pour this over top. And then on top, I'm going to add some more of that cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese, as well as some bacon pieces and some sliced jalapeno. I've got my oven preheated to 350, and so this is going to go in there for about 25 minutes on 350. Okay, and here it is done. As I said, it cooked for 25 minutes, and then I did broil it on high for 2 minutes. So I'm just gonna let it cool, and then this is gonna be it for dinner tonight. It's really like a jalapeno popper chicken mac and cheese. It's super cheesy and delicious, and I can't wait for it to cool off so we can eat it. And that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If you plan on trying any of these meals, or if you have already actually tried them, since none of them were new to me and I've already shared them with y'all before, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you thought of the recipes if you tried them, and I'd also love to hear what you plan on trying. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!